Welcome! I am so excited to be continuing our conversation today on my spirit log. I'm sure this will come around to having a name that is really about the conversation that we're having and not just the name for what I think in my head when I'm doing it. So we'll see what that is. Maybe it'll even be, healing stories or Stacy stories, which is what everything else seems to be about. So we'll see. In the meantime, I thought maybe it would be a good day to do a tarot reading, to pull a card, and just sort of have that be a simple and sweet and wise, hopefully, vlog entry for today. But before I do that, I wanted to share, a while ago, I got these really great little, I always move them the wrong direction, little tea mugs, coffee mugs. They're from World Market. They're beautiful, and I have several of them. And because I'm really clumsy, they're really kind of tall and skinny, so they're perfect if I want to grip them, but I tend to worry that I might knock them over, and I want them to be out and appreciated. And so I thought, well, what if I just plant seeds in them? So I have some oregano and some thyme, and actually I have some seeds for sprouting, for eating the green sprouts for health that I wanted to play with and try out. And that's a mix of things. And I thought, well, hey, perfect. I'll just have, a small plant that can have a deep root base. I can even put some rocks in the bottom for drainage, and I can have it trailing down, and that'll be perfect. And even, I could, do a wire wrap around this since it's wider at the top. Pretty side. A wire wrap with some copper wire from Home Depot or Lowe's or something. Or, even better, from a small local company near you for the fix-it person in your life. Anyway, and hang it up where the cats cannot knock it down and break it and eat it like they've done with all my other plants. And I've really been wanting to get out and into the garden this year, and I'm still not really at a point where I can be digging and mulching and weeding and doing all those wonderful things that we do with gardens. So this is, halfway. I can play around with some dirt at the kitchen table and have a good time with that. So I'm excited about this, and I just sort of thought I'd share in case you were looking for a way to have some greens at your house and you had a whole bunch of extra coffee mugs sitting around, like we do. And with that said, this is my tarot bag, and I'm learning, another thing I'm learning is that if you hold things that you want people to see next to your face, they show up better in the screen. Ooh, fancy. So this is the tarot bag that I made for my first original deck many years ago now. I think it was 2006. I don't know. Anyway, no, it couldn't have been. It had to be later than that. Must have been 2007, 2008. Anyway, long time ago, and I pieced this together out of what at the time were my favorite fabrics that I had in my fabric stash. I love the cat. Yeah, so this holds not just the favorite fabrics, but also the favorite and original tarot deck. So, and I'm trying to keep my head in place to hide the fact that we don't have a door on our hall closet, which is our junk dumping ground in the living room. Yeah, it's right there. Don't look. Anyway, so this book, I love this. Carol Bridges, The Medicine Woman Inner Guidebook. This is the one that I started working with first and that I love, and I still laugh at myself that I, for so long, just couldn't understand how anyone would have more than one, I'm all wrapped up in cords here, one tarot deck ever, and now I've got, I don't even want to count how many, but they're lovely and they're fun, and once you've had some practice, it doesn't feel like it's so hard to connect into that universal wisdom that's going on, and it's not as important that you have this relationship with your cards and your deck and all of that. It's lovely to have that. I like working with a deck that I have worked with before and that I know on some level. but it's not this like necessary component that it used to be, that this is the deck that I work with, which I appreciate. I guess that's a sign that I'm growing in skill. So there's this thing, I actually learned it in library world, but it started out somewhere else entirely, and it's a Zen concept called the beginner's mind. And what it is, it's this belief that if you call yourself a master, if you consider that you have mastery over something, what you're saying is, I have nothing more to learn on this topic. And, oh look, you can even see all of the, oh, they're over here, all of the Legos. Oh well. Anyway, if you claim that you already have mastery, that you know all there is to know on that subject, and you start to sort of close your mind to learning anything new or having a different outcome than the one you expect when you use these certain tools in this certain way, because that's how it works for you. And you know that because you've mastered it. I love the idea that if we can continue to have a beginner's mind, to always look at whatever we're doing from a fresh perspective with that curiosity and excitement that we might have had the first time or the first several times, that so much more is possible. We actually can notice new things about something we've done a million times. We can find better ways or new ways and new understandings, deeper understandings, because we continue to expect to learn every time, expect to have more that we don't know yet show up for us. And so the beginner's mind. And in fact, I think sometimes some of my friends who also do a lot of tarot, here I am, I'm shuffling, like to start with a new deck because it makes it easier for them to have the beginner's mind when they are doing a reading for someone. They don't think, oh, this person, you know, this card would really connect with them, and then they pick that card out of the deck because they know it's in the deck and what it, you know, what the book says about it and all that sort of thing. Oh, okay, you're sliding away here. They don't do it that way because if they don't know the deck, then they can't predict, or it's easier to let go of expectations of what's going to happen or what's going to show up or what we want to say in answer to someone's concern or question or curiosity. So, what's our question today? This is what I'm starting to wonder about as I'm shuffling, and I think we're just going to pull a card and see what the wisdom has to tell us. Yeah, and in fact, this is what I was telling you about in another video, where sometimes, you know, the top card or two, or the bottom one, or one in the middle somewhere will sort of be jumping out or just not falling into line with everything else. So I'm taking that. These are the two that I'm going to pull this time from the top. Oh wow, and they're both major arcana. So as I've described in the past video about tarot, you basically have the cards that everything they say is sort of in bold, and there's a lot more to them. It's a little bit like going to a lecture from an expert. And then there are the minor arcana, which are a little bit more like the everyday wisdoms, or you know, fine-tuning of one specific aspect of what the major arcana encompasses. It's a little bit like having a fifth suit, but every card in that suit trumps every card in the other four suits entirely. So here what we've come up with is two major arcana. The Peacemaker, which is the number 5, so traditional decks would call it the Hierophant. This is what that looks like. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be holding it by my head. Whoops. Practicing new things. And this is the Grandmothers, which is the number 18 and is often traditionally called the Moon. Here, I'm going to pull that closer because actually I'd like you to be able to see it better. Ooh, but I have more control. So that was really cool. Okay, so let's see what these mean. Number 5, the Peacemaker. And again, I'm reading from Carol Bridges' work, the Medicine Woman Inner Guidebook. Meditation. Oh no, mediation. Mediation. The Hierophant, the peacemaker interfacing with the world. The affirmation for this card says, I am the mediator between my God self and my world. I bring the within outward, recognizing that my presentation and the world's response are just. I am at peace with all outcomes. The card speaks. I am the guiding voice speaking to you from within your heart, combining the soul's needs with those of the world. I tell you when to speak and when to be silent. I am the go-between, the bridge. I am the one who knows the ways of the world, and yet I am not overwhelmed by them. I tell you how to bring your highest vision into creation. If you have listened to the tarot cards before me, and each card is numbered, and so often the belief is that there's a progression of enlightenment from 0 through 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 21. So this is number 5. If you have listened to the tarot cards before me, you have seen what can be. You have created a supportive structure for your ideas and ideals. Now I tell you how to present yourself through these structures. I am your interface with the world. If you are not within a structure, be it job, relationship, or society, which supports your wholeness, you may find me suggesting outrageous things. Depending on how non-beneficial your structure is for your self-actualization, I will cause trouble. It is my role, in whatever way I must, to move you through the changes required for your spiritual growth. Your choice is to create a path of your choosing, or I will open the earth before you. I am a master of protocol, the right ritual of every situation. I understand completely what is expected in conventional terms, and yet I never miss an opportunity to shine a light through any crack I see. At times I have appeared as the gypsy prince holding the mysteries in my consciousness and acting intuitively in the world. I have been called the peacemaker, for I understand every side of every dispute and always bring the polarities into balance. I realize that a suffering person suffers because she has become ready for a new and higher level of being. If you listen, I speak the way. I am the book of changes. I am the darkness and the dawn. I am the movement and the dance of life. Look to me for revelation of all things sacred. These are the unchanging within the changed. You will hear me call you on to better things. As you pass each chance for change, you will know if you have taken the right step. You will know, for you will feel the presence of the peacemaker inside yourself. I am with you. You make true peace by offering your real self in a way the world can accept. There is something in you that the world, at least some portion of the world, is waiting for. A common problem people face is that they either believe their gifts will be rejected and so do not offer them, or they offer their gifts to people who are not interested. In the business world, it is of the utmost importance to find your niche, your niche. It is no different in other situations. If you want a successful outcome, you must not only have a good idea, that's Vader back there, but you must present it in a way that will be acceptable to a specific group of people. Many people fail because they are not acting much different from the salesman trying to sell refrigerators to Eskimos. Often people want to make peace with their parents, so they badger their parents to accept them, a technique that seldom works. Instead, without sacrificing their true being, they could simply repackage themselves by presenting their ideas in terms their parents already understand, or they could just share more fully the parts of themselves that their parents already accept. Go with the flow. If your mother likes your home cooking, share that with her instead of your enjoyment of occult books. Let go of your need to conflict with her. Peacemaking is a fine art. It is often the art of keeping silence, letting go of the ego need to be one up. No one was ever reformed permanently by bullying. The peacemaker is ever watchful, however, for just the right opening to speak just enough to gain interest and respect. This way, there is no need to argue and no need to back down from your true stance. You proceed systematically and intuitively forward at a steady pace, counting every tiny advance as a success. Thus, there is no war, there is slowly expanding cooperation. And number 18, the grandmothers. The meaning of this card is intuition, infinity within. The traditional name is the moon, the medicine woman energy, the grandmothers who are wise. And the affirmation for this card is, all that ever was or will be is here now within me. My body incorporates the planetary dream and my most personal love into a life grace-filled. And the card speaks. We are the grandmothers, and the moon is our symbol. We are intuitive knowledge that you feel or sense, knowledge that seems to be within your body. Our teaching is this: trust your body. Your body subtly reacts to everything you present to it and gives you feedback as to whether a particular thing is right for you in that moment. At night, when you sleep and dream, your body goes through experiences that it needs in order to live the life you are attempting to live. Your thoughts lay out the blueprint, and your body tells you what to do, moment by moment, through its feeling responses. It lets you know if you have erred in your planning. It gives you peace and joy if you have planned well. Thought and action, will and movement, these are the things that reorganize your body's cells. Old cells embodying old ideas die, and new cells containing your new ideas are born. You are constantly recreating yourself in your own image. This creative energy is so strong that unless you are using your talents and abilities creatively in the world, you may begin creating excess body in the form of fat or cancer, or perhaps even an entire new person, a baby. Your imagination gives form to the creative energy. New knowledge gained in the reflective state of meditation is incorporated into your body. Your mental organization becomes your physical organism. We are the grandmothers who speak in wisdom. Break out of your shell, the old ways of thinking that lock you inside. Pass by your personality's desires and your education as well. Walk between the towers of thought, following the path to the high mountain of spiritual intuition. There is infinite wisdom ahead. You don't have to get creative. You already are. You just have to grab the reins of power and take over. Harness your dreams and intuitions and go. Life will bring you every experience you need to succeed. So, thank you for being part of the conversation here with me today, and I look forward to continuing with you soon. Be well.